Clement. I'm a teacher at Lumberton Intermediate School. I'm a published author, recently having had 2 published books. The first book I had published was Queen of the Castle. It's a children's chapter book about a little miniature schnauzer named Prissy. My other book has just gotten published, and it's called Shifting Sand, and it's more of a more serious nature. It's a young adult chapter book that deals with the death of someone's father, and this is a book that's been enjoyed and has gotten really good reviews, and I would love for you to look at those books if ever you get a chance. I was asked to read a Cajun story today called Cajun Night Before Christmas. It has a different take on it from what you've used to hearing on the night before Christmas, because it has a lot of language in there that has to do with the Cajun language. And the reason I was asked to do it is because I am from Southeast Louisiana, and that type of language was heard all around me growing up. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the words you might hear in the story before we get started. One that comes to mind is when Santa comes to visit. He doesn't come on a sleigh like we think of. He comes in something called a skiff, and a skiff is a type of boat that he uses to get through the swamps and to the houses in Cajun country. Another term that you might hear is taunt, and a taunt is Cajun word for aunt, and so they're going to talk about taunt flow in the story. Taunt flow means aunt flow. He's going to say something in there that sounds kind of funny. It's going to be sacré, and sacré means oh my goodness. It's not a real word, it's just a saying that means like, oh my goodness, holy cow, whatever you think of when something surprises you. And I believe that's about all that you might have trouble understanding. So I'm going to get started with the book Cajun Night Before Christmas. It was written by someone called Trosclair. This wasn't the author's real name. This was actually written by a police officer in Baton Rouge who sent a Christmas message to a car dealership in Louisiana. And that Christmas message turned into what we know of as Cajun Night Before Christmas. So I present to you now Cajun Night Before Christmas by Trosclair. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house they donating pass, not even a mouse. The children been nuzzled good snug on the floor, and mama passed the paper through the crack on the door. Then mama in the fireplace done roast up the ham, stir up the gumbo, and make bake the yam. Then out on the bayou, they got such a clatter, make sound like old Boudreaux done fall off his ladder. I run like a rabbit to got to the door, trip over the dog, and fall on the floor. As I look out the door in the light of the moon, I think, man, you crazy, or got old too soon. Cause there on the bayou, when I stretch my neck stiff, there's 8 alligator a-pulling the skiff. And a little fat drover with a long pulling stick, I know right away got to be old Saint Nick. More faster and faster the gator they came, he whistle and holler and called them by name. Hey Gaston, hey T-Boy, hey Pierre and Alcide, G. Danette, G. Suzette, Celeste, and Renee. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, make crawl, alligator, and be sure you don't fall. Like Taunt Flo's cat, to the treetop he fly, when the big old hound dog come run himself by. Like dad up the porch, them old gator climb, with the skiff full of toy and St. Nicholas behind. Then on top the porch roof, it sound like the hail, when all them big gator done sot down their tail. Then down the chimney I yell with a bam, and St. Nicholas fall and sit on the yam. "Sacré," he exclaimed, "my pant got a hole. I done sat myself down on some red hot coal." Got on his foots and jumped like a cat. Out the door, he land with a splat. He was dressed in muskrat from his head to his foot, and his clothes is all dirty with ashes and soot. A sack full of plaything he threw on his back. He looked like a burglar and asked for a fact. His eyes, how they shine, his dimple, how merry. Maybe he been drink the wine from blackberry. His cheek was like rose, his nose like a cherry. On second thought, maybe he lap up that sherry. With snow-white chin whisker and quivering belly, he shook when he laughed like some strawberry jelly. But a wink in his eye and a shake of his head make my confidence that I don't got to be scared. He don't do no talking, going straight to his work. Put plaything in sock, then turn with a jerk. He put both his hands there on top of his head, cast an eye on the chimney, and then he done said, "With all of that fire and them burning hot flame, me, I ain't going back by the way that I came." So he run out the door and he climbed to the roof. He ain't no fool him for to make one more goof. Jump in his skiff and crack his big whip. The gator moved down and don't make one slip. And I hear him shout loud as a splashing he go. "Merry Christmas to all, till I saw you some more." I hope you enjoyed the story today and letting me share some of my Cajun heritage with you. I do hope all of you have a very Merry Christmas and the happiest of a New Year.